Hey folks, Rob Daniels here for the movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program Visions in Sound. I can be found every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5, and if you miss the show, which, like I said, hey, does happen, you can also find me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. Well, here we are, the continuing saga of Visions in Sound, and this week I'm taking a little break from Star Trek and going into kind of a bit of alternative universes in this case. This being the 2002 game Freedom Fighters. Now, Freedom Fighters is considered an alternative history where certain things happened that didn't happen in our current history, and that is that New York is occupied by the Soviet Union. So there's that. This becomes a very interesting premise, and it is this guy here that has brought me to this point. When I heard the score and when I saw the gameplay, it was very interesting for me to sit back, and I'm not the kind of game player that gets into this kind of stuff very often, and especially back in 2002, I didn't think I even had a computer powerful enough to be able to play a game like this. And, I don't have a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox or anything like that to play the game either. However, the score here done by Jesper Kyd, and he's a Danish composer. And yes, it is pronounced Jesper, although he mentioned to me when I did an interview with him that it was pronounced slightly differently, but he says I got it as close as it's going to get. So it's not Jesper, it's Jesper. So anyway, it doesn't matter. You pronounce it the way you pronounce it. So there is this. The game is very interesting in the fact that it, like I said, it deals with an alternative history.
Do we have to get the crappiest route every Monday morning? I wish for once we get a fancy condo on the east side with a view. Whoa. Isabella Angel whatever. She's that hot spokesbabe for the Warning Against Reds movement? I saw her on TV yesterday.
No idea. Besides, I don't follow all that conspiracy crap like you do.
What do you mean, conspiracy crap? Doesn't the Soviet invasion of South America bother you? You need a reality check, bro. Know what? Next thing you know, you'll be waking up under a Russian flag, and you won't think it's conspiracy crap then.
Right.
And again, I like playing with history a little bit. But again, like I said, it is Jesper Kyd's music that particularly jumps out at me. Particularly this track. beautiful opening track with music by the Hungarian Radio Choir. Some fantastic stuff. And like I said, but when I got this all those years ago, for me, this is one of those something else music works releases that came to me, and I basically haven't seen out in the wild very much. So it's nice to be able to kind of approach that with this kind of with actually having a physical copy. And I'm a huge proponent of having a physical copy of something, and that in this case really makes me happy that I do have a physical copy of this, because it's really that good. So have a listen to a few more tracks off of this particular release for Freedom Fighters, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the game.
From
Now, like I said, the game itself does take place in an alternative universe. And that's, I guess in a weird way, I could stretch it to the point where, yeah, it could kind of deal with a Star Trek kind of thing. But in this case, it's more of the unknown hero. The plumber essentially becomes the hero in the end.
Hello? Plumber's on patrol. Anybody home? Whew. No wonder. Sister Sludge sure needs a trained surgeon here.
There is one here! Freeze! Don't move! Remain calm, citizen!
Whoa, hey, stay cool, man. I'm just the plumber.
Where is your girlfriend, citizen?
Girlfriend? Hey, she's not my...
I will ask again. Where is Isabella Angelina?
What, her? Look, she's not...
Well, Isabella cannot be far from here. Bomb the place to pieces!
I want to see a lawyer, buddy.
It is fortunate that you found me. Quickly, this way. Perfect! He won't trouble us anymore. Hurry! We mustn't linger here. More soldiers! Shoot them! See those soldiers down there? We are not as well supplied as the enemy, so we'll have to improvise. Aim at the fuel barrels rather than the soldiers. Good! You are ready for battle again. We're not out of the woods yet. It's us or them.
And that's what really comes through here in these particular tracks. I am of the opinion that this is a really good score, and Jesper Kyd is one of those composers that, in my opinion, doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. In a lot of cases, he was the one that started the music for the Assassin's Creed series and that sort of thing. So he's done a few scores over the years that are very interesting, but in my opinion he doesn't seem to get the recognition that he deserves. Now maybe he does in his own home country, but I personally haven't seen it, at least in recent years. So it's nice to be able to kind of present his music from this 2002 game. So with that in mind, Galadriel, who was here and isn't right now, would say, please like, share, and subscribe, and comment, please. I'd like to know what your favorite video game score is that features maybe a third-person shooter or that kind of thing. that features an interesting score. I'm going to be bringing up a few more interesting video game scores in the next little while as well. And if you're interested in any of the film, television, or video game music that I do play on my show, then by all means, you can try my show every Saturday morning, 12 to 2 a.m. on FM 98.5. And if you miss the show, which, like I said, hey, does happen, you can also try me on my website, visionsinsound.ca. I am on Blue Sky these days at visionsinsound.bsky.social. You can also try me on GoodPods, a downloadable app for your phone or other type devices. And I can also be found on many of the other podcatchers out there, including the likes of Apple Music. So folks, yeah, we're in weird times. Not alternative universe times, but we are in weird times. So if you're having trouble, please call 911 for immediate help. You can dial or text 988 for the Suicide Crisis Helpline. You can try 1-844-HERE-247 and HERE247.ca. They all offer ways of getting help if you or someone you know may be suffering from mental health issues. Well, that's all for this week. I'm going to return to Trek for next week, probably with another video game score. So with that in mind, have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
EA Games. Challenge